These guys, they might be our guinea pigs.
How can I tell if you're in the frame, though?
This is a small, intimate presentation.
I don't even know if you're in the frame because I can't see.
Oh yeah,
anything.
no, you're fine. It's
You'll know it.
It's pretty wide angle.
Oh, it can catch you. So I basically keep it toward you and it'll find you.
Yeah, you can just point it like, I think like that, you'll get us all.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They're pretty good.
Gotcha.
So I'll re-explain it, but if you guys are willing to participate, I would just like to invite a breathing exercise. And again, like this is now I lost consciousness. I was in my head. I was thinking about the camera, and I was thinking about all the things I want to get done. All right.
You lost consciousness?
I lost consciousness of my breath. And at least I'm going to try to maintain that consciousness of my breath for this presentation. And I invite you guys here to also try it. Who here has lost it already? I get recenter it, bring it right back. It's okay. If you lose it, you're just like, oh, I lost it. Now I got it back. Now I'm back aware of it. And every 5 minutes, I'd like to just check in on you guys and just like ask you guys like, what is there anything? What are you experiencing? I lost it again. Okay. You have an outline you want to?
Well, I kind of like what we bounced around before about talking about like when you were first introduced to it and why it's something that's meaningful to us, and kind of share this journey with Marian's and with Jason too over the past couple of years. But yeah, empathic consciousness, and I never really thought about the world in this way, where it's so clear why people do what they do, and it has enabled me to connect with both myself and other people in a different way. That's brought me better quality relationships, and I'm able to express myself in a more authentic manner about different ideas that are important to me. And I'm also able to receive really difficult messages from people, things that I might not want to hear, judgments, and kind of translate that and create a shift in that connection. So, yeah, and so I kind of pull out and look at it from a broader perspective of domination hierarchies. And that's kind of what led me to finding it, was that I had a strong interest in freedom and individual freedom, psychological freedom, I guess. And when I heard about this framework, I saw how it was like a direct path to that in a new way that had been presented to me outside like economic theory or social theory and stuff. So yeah, domination hierarchies kind of require a few things. They require disconnection from yourself, kind of a bureaucratic language that denies choice, things like have to, should, you gotta do what the boss says, those sorts of things. And we'll give it. Just domination language. I don't know if you have anything else on that.
I introduce myself. I'm Jake for all intents and purposes here. I'm Jacob Stolt, and I just lost it as I tried to describe my name. And yeah, along with Katie and Wes Bertrand, kind of put this group together of nonviolent communication. Mary was there from the very beginning. We wanted to kind of explore NVC at the time and to figure out how this could connect with what we valued in terms of autonomy and liberty for our own lives. And for me, the exciting thing was I might not be able to change the state, but I can change myself. And I might not be able to transform society, but I can transform perhaps my social relationships. And so NVC was like an opportunity to explore a space of allowing a transformation of social relationships that I found very exciting, and I was very interested in trying to be so consistent in my values that not only is my political theory connected, but even how I relate to others that I love and care about is connected to my values. And so that was an important drive for me. And you wanted to talk about domination and disconnection?
Yeah. Yeah, just to kind of like reiterate what you said. It really integrated communication with my personal philosophy on everything else. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got really excited about it. But, well, do we want to do maybe the 4 Gs of disconnection, or do we want to...
Sure, I'd like to check in. How are we
Okay,
doing
yeah.
over here? You still doing it? Successful? Marginally?
I'm feeling kind of like hesitant with what I pulled together initially because I know like a lot of you are very familiar already.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to go through like just the basic introduction, if that would work for everybody here, or yeah.
Our willingness and openness.
Yeah, let's
for,
go
all
for
right.
it.
I just want to
Good.
make sure.
So, yeah, what Katie was saying, disconnection. There's kinds of disconnected language and disconnected thinking. And she talked about, you talked about denial of responsibility, right? I'm just doing my job?
Yeah, that's one of them.
So how is this disconnected? I'm just doing my job, ma'am. Oh, wow. So I've just said, I'm not responsible for any of the choices I'm making. I'm saying that it's not my fault, it's the institution's, the job's fault. The institution behind me. I'm saying I am not in control of what I'm doing. And I'm saying I have to do this. I'm compelled. I'm obligated. I have all these...
You don't have choice.
I have no choice. That's what I'm saying. So that's like disconnected from me. Because that's not connected to like any choices I'm making. You have another denial of responsibility?
Denial of responsibility. Yeah, I've got to do what the boss says. I think this is it.
Gotta do what the boss says.
Yeah.
What about even something even like I've got to attend to all the needs of my children.
Yeah, I guess any have to, must, should.
Yeah. Do I want to meet my children's needs out of a have to, an obligation, or do I want to meet it out of a choice? Or do I meet it out of a want to? And so I have a choice to make. I have a choice to how I want to think about it. Recentering.
Yeah. Another one would be diagnoses. And those are often in the form of you are, they are, I am, fill in the blank. So I'm so stupid or lazy or that person's selfish. All of those are diagnoses or judgments on what a person is, but it's disconnected from
What they're actually doing.
yes. So whatever a person is doing is, if you act like it's true that whatever a person is doing is only to meet their needs, there's a shift in the quality of connection with the person. Even if they could say anything to you, but if you can look underneath the words that they're saying.
Not take it personally, basically.
Right. So if someone's saying you're lazy, maybe they're wanting more support in something that they're doing, or selfish. Maybe they'd like some more information. So it's kind of like these universal underlying needs, and just being familiar with those is really
Did somebody
empowering
order a
to
baseball
have a
bat
compassionate
sandwich?
perspective on yourself.
If I tell myself I'm lazy, then it's kind of like I'm not accepting the fact that I was tired. I'm not accepting the context of where I was at. I wasn't accepting what I was needing at that time. Why was I relaxing in front of Netflix for an hour rather than reading or doing the dishes? Maybe I was doing it because I just had a rough day that day and I just wanted to veg. You know, and so by telling myself I'm lazy, what's that?
An hour, he
An
said.
hour? Yeah. You know, another diagnosis might be, you know what your problem is? You're an asshole.
Yeah.
You've just given this person the gift of your judgment and your evaluation. But you know what? Sometimes, you know, you might not want to give gifts to people that they don't want. You might only want to give gifts that people want.
Right.
And so, yeah, your problem is kind of like saying, I would like to express to you my judgment and evaluation of you. Do you want to hear that? And instead I've just said, you know, I'm just going to give it to you whether you want it or not. And so I'm not connected to me because I'm giving an evaluation without any kind of consciousness of that it is an evaluation. I'm talking about it as if I'm talking about the world. You know, if you say, well, that guy's a dick. Well, okay, what does that mean? That guy's a jerk. Okay, that's a little more substantive. Is he always a jerk? no, he probably isn't always a jerk. He's probably got some times when he's nice. So like you're telling that person what they are, but what they are is probably a whole lot more complex. So you're really disconnected from what is. You're just giving. What you're expressing is my feelings and my needs are not getting met in this interaction. But even good judgments, good diagnoses, you know, you're such a wonderful person, Rita. Well, like you can like say, oh, that I feel good that he gave me that wonderful gift. But you know, it doesn't really tell you what I'm thankful for. It just tells me I just told you my evaluation of you. Not like thank you so much for helping me. You know, like now you know what I'm appreciating. Yeah.
If you can be good, you can also be bad.
Yeah.
You know? If I love your hair, I can also hate your hair. And it kind of creates this thing. I don't know, but it's not really like high in our awareness.
Giving judgments to people without their request is kind of like you're setting yourself up as their judge, and you're saying like, I get to choose what you are, and I've labeled you, and that's probably not gonna be very connected. It's probably not too connected to yourself, and definitely probably gonna lead to some disconnection with them. Because what's the response especially when you give someone a negative judgment? The response is, well, fuck you. You know, the response can be, oh, I feel so bad.
Guilt,
Yeah.
defensiveness.
Is that what the kind of relationship you want? It's not what I want. Like, I want something different. And so, so that was like a big insight for me because I used to give people judgments. I tried to be very kind about it, you know. But it was still, I might qualify the judgment. You know, that was pretty dickish of you.
The pretty softened it.
There was some dickishness there.
So I guess for me, this kind of is bringing back to observations, which is the first step in this formula. And for me, observations seem like the way I approach it is like a video camera. A camera can't see dicks or assholes. I mean, literally.
Wow! We can test that theory.
Oh, you didn't see me earlier when I swiped that under the kilt there. It'll be at the beginning.
It doesn't say the genitalia is too large.
It doesn't evaluate.
Cameras don't see evaluations. People see evaluations. So they make evaluations and they give them to other people.
Yeah. So I guess it's just kind of unpacking, being conscious of these subtle evaluations that we're making all the time. We're just in the habit of making, even small ones that affect the way we interact with one another and the effectiveness with which we're able to get our needs satisfied and satisfy the needs of other people when we want to do that.
So that's diagnosis.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got denial of responsibility, diagnosis, what are demands or deserve-oriented? Demands or
If we don't go to if we don't go to deserve-oriented first, I am going to spank you.
Alright, wow, yeah.
I would like to see that. So I think demands are more important right now. And I demand for that to happen.
What about
Whoa.
Be careful, be careful.
Watch the point.
Yeah, so demands. It's I think we're all familiar. If you're a liberty lover, you're probably familiar with demands. You're probably very sensitive to demands. When someone makes a demand of you, probably anybody, especially the state, you probably have a bad feeling. Either an angry feeling, or your stomach sinks to the bottom of your gut, and you're like, oh, now I gotta pay that fine. Oh, and then you feel just awful. And so the person making the demand is saying, would you please do something for me? And they put it in the language of, do it for me or else. And I lost it.
Or you'll be suspended, you'll be usually tied with some sort of punishment. Or it could be tied to a reward.
Yeah. Oh.
Well,
I had to think about that actually. Demand as a tied to reward. Do this or I won't
I
give you
guess
this
maybe
thing.
the withdrawal of a reward or
Withdrawal
something.
reward
would be,
or withdrawal of something,
If you
yeah.
don't pay your fine on time, we're going to have additional fines.
Yeah.
So if you pay it on time, you can use our convenient mailing system or do it online now.
Or I owe you your excess tax money back at the end of the year. but if you don't pay your parking ticket, then I won't give it to you.
Okay, that could be.
So that's maybe
Yeah,
a
something
withdrawal or
like that.
something. Maybe that's some situation. But yeah.
Might be kind of making it look weird.
Is that like man like coercion you're saying?
A coercion, I think the coercion is a demand, right? I can't think of a difference.
When you use coercion, yeah, you're trying to make them do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're saying do this or I'll hurt
They've made a
you,
choice.
or do this or I'll do something to you that you won't like. And so there's that. A demand narrows the scope of possibilities. It says I either have to obey the demand or I have to give in, which then makes me feel sucky, or I have to rebel and then maybe get hurt, and that kind of could feel sucky. And so what we normally probably choose, most of us, is probably a passive-aggressive approach, like, I will rebel and tell you to F off, and then I will pay the fine.
I'll pay the fine and $1 bills.
But that's just... Yes, Mary's familiar with the strategy.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because you're trying to get some of your choice back. You're trying to get some of your autonomy back. Like, I'm being forced to pay this awful fine, and I feel so awful, and I just want to tell them that I'm a human being that has some choices, and I can kind of mess with your life a little bit too. You know what I mean? Like, let's both drop the messing with our lives thing and just kind of come back to humanness. Yeah. Yeah, that's a heavy thing. Like the demand, you have two choices: submit or rebel. And that either one, if you're even submitting or rebelling, you're still responding to their stimuli. You're being controlled by their thing. And I love the thing about NVC was about opening up a third way, the Viktor Frankl's third way, where Viktor Frankl says, in the space between stimulus and response, well, he says between stimulus and response, there's a space. And then in that space is our freedom. And how are we doing on our consciousness over here? We lost it?
Yeah.
Coming in and out? Is it really hard? Yeah, okay.
I kind of have it in the back of my mind right now.
Okay. Like I'm aware of it right now, but usually as I get going speaking, I'll be up in my head and then I'll lose it. And so I have to kind of speak from a little bit below the head and keep it. Yeah.
So you're like asking us to multitask, listen, and then pay attention to our breathing at the same time.
To give empathy to someone else, I need to be connected first to myself.
I
wanna
see.
be aware of
Okay,
me.
I see. So it's
And that's where empathy
exercise.
comes from. It comes from me when I'm connected.